Hi everybody, this is Consuelo from Consuelo, Viola's daughter. Welcome back everyone. Um, Welcome back to my new subscribers, and most of all, welcome back to my previous subscribers. I'm having a hard time saying that word, aren't I? Glad to see you back here, and I'm going to make a request to hit that like button either when you're coming in or leaving. Uh, YouTube would like to see them. I like to see them, and maybe you could do that for me. And thanks a lot. Um, if you have any comments, it's down in the comment section. You could ask anything. You might have a question after you see my uh, short clip that I'm going to do about now. And as you can see, I have a layout here of a hat. And feel free to ask me any questions you like, and I'll try and answer them as fast as I can. Okay, so, well, I made some hats. And I made hats with a brim. I'm going to get right into it, as you could tell. I made hats with a brim. And I found out that if I didn't do something to stiffen it, it would be very floppy and probably would flop in my face by the time I wore it an hour or so. So I was talking to Jeanette on DOY Creation 7, and we had a little conversation online on a live one day, and I was saying, I need to stiffen it, but I don't want to do it the traditional way. And that is to add a piece of plastic in, make another layer of a brim, close it up. And I thought it would be heavy, and if you're wearing a hat, especially in the summertime, the last thing you want is something heavy on your head. And so through our conversation, somehow we got to ModPodge, and we said we'll do a test. And I said, sure, I'll do it. I'm making a hat right now. I'll be glad to put some ModPodge on it and see what happens to it. Even if I have to wear it and it doesn't look so good, it doesn't matter. I don't really go anywhere that's, anybody's going to scrutinize this old lady walking around with a funny hat. So I'm going to do it real quick. It's really a quick process. And maybe you will have some tips for me once you see what I'm doing here. You might even have a better suggestion on how I'm handling it. As I'm going to show you right now. This is one of the hats I crocheted with a brim. And I just put down, I'm right here on my table. I put a plastic bag down. You really don't need a lot of coverage. But just so in case the Mod Podge leaks through, it's not on the table. And this is the Mod Podge. I hope you can see it. I have my camera in reverse, so I can't really tell, but it's Mod Podge. Actually, it's the matte. I think they have a shiny and they have a satin. I like the matte because I'm using yarn. This hat is made of acrylic, 100% acrylic. I believe it's Red Heart, Super Saver, just a regular Red Heart acrylic. So what I do is I use a brush. That's all you're going to need is a brush. I have a cup of water here because, don't laugh now, folks. I repurpose everything. This brush is about 20 years old, maybe even older. Actually, I have the painting up on the wall that I first did this with. And I use it over and over and over again. And it just won't quit. So you can see it's already tinted by the previous paint I was using, which was also acrylic. And the only thing I use the water for is to put the brush in so that it doesn't stiffen up on me. It's already a stiff brush. It's one of those inexpensive brushes. You can get them anywhere, Michael's, dollar store, anywhere. So this is my old trusty bottle of Mod Podge I've had for a very long time, as you could tell from the bottle. And like I said, I put the brim, I kind of shape it, because, the yarn goes the way it wants to go. So I kind of shape it, make sure it's in a little symmetrical. I don't put the Mod Podge past this line here, which is just a crochet line. you know, single crochet, which I use to attach the brim to the hat. And while waiting to go on to make this video, I did the other side already. So as you can tell, it's not really stiff because I usually do 2 coats each side. But for demonstration purpose, and it's dry already. I think I did around 4 hours ago, so it's totally dry. So what I'm going to do is do this side, the right side, and I guess I'll have to come back maybe 4 hours later and give you a view, and so you can see how it looks. I have another hat here that I did, similar material, dollar store. I guess that's what, premium? Is it premium? No, it was said just yarn, 100% acrylic, and I did the same thing. I ModPodge both sides. It's still flexible, and that's the nice thing about it. It stays flexible. It conforms to whatever way you want to. It has a little stiffness to it. Somebody asked me, does it wash out? Tell you the truth, I don't know, because I've never washed it out. And if I was to wash my hat, I probably would use just one of my tips. As I told you, I like to do things easy. And if I had to wash this hat, I probably would just fill the sink with some woolite and swish it around, maybe, you know, get rid of whatever soil would be over here. This shouldn't be dirty, but if it is, I probably would wash the base of the hat where your hair is in contact and dirt and stuff. And I probably wouldn't wash the brim. I don't know why you would need to wash the brim. My other tip is I have other hats, and whenever I think that it has like makeup or sweat or whatever, I use baby wipes. Baby wipes from the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar or whatever dollar store you go to. They work just as well. And they just wipe the band and make sure it's refreshed, and any makeup or dirt or soil, whatever's on there, it comes right off. So I don't know anybody who washes their hats that much, but if it really got ruined, I'd just make another one. Wouldn't you? Yeah, I guess I would. So anyway, let me show you how I set it up. Put the hat on the plastic, and I have a little dent in here that I'm not happy with because I did the other side and maybe I wasn't paying attention. And you smooth it out, you know, like see I have holes. I probably would push them together a little bit more so that it's not too holy. Although you wouldn't, I don't think it would hurt the look of the hat any. And I go straight in, right with the ModPodge. I'm going to say this word a lot, ModPodge. Okay, I'll brush it on, and I'll stay under that ridge. Now I'm showing you what I do. Of course, if you got a better idea, go for it. But this is what I do. So I'll stay, since I don't need to stiffen the band that's around my head, I would put it on, and I try to pounce it in a little bit so it gets into the fibers. And like I said, I might do 2 coats because every hat I make is out of a different yarn. Some I made out of cotton, some I made out of acrylic. They all seem to do all right with the ModPodge. I've worn the hats, I've shaped the hats, I've reshaped them, and they all seem to hold up pretty good. So this is a lazy man or lazy woman's way of stiffening the brim without making another layer and sewing it on and hoping that it stays together. This one does work for me. So now, as you see, I'm putting it on, and I'll probably put it on. Let's speed this up. That's me, Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah. So I'm going to put just, because this brush is small, but I don't want to put the stuff on that ridge, that little crochet, you know, single crochet ridge that was made there when I joined them. So I don't need that to be stiff. So now I'm pouncing it in, and I'm going to show you, like I said, I'm going to show you how I do it. Do you want to do it that way? I don't know. You may not want to do it this way. But if you come up with a better way, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. And then I don't want this brush too messy. Okay, so I'm not going to put it in the water yet. I use my hands. You see how it's sitting on top? So I use my hand because my hands work better than any tool I hold. And I smash it in a little because I want it to go into the fiber. Now the only thing it might smash down your stitches a little bit, but it's a brim. So who cares? I don't. So this is what I'm doing. I'm smashing it in. I don't want to have like a, see I have white spots here. I don't really want to have, you know, big blotches of Mod Podge or looking caked up or something. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more. This stuff doesn't bother your hands or anything. It washes off with water. At least while it's wet, it does. Okay. I'm being particular for you guys because I probably would have just sloshed it on if it was just mine. Is that a word, slosh it? I don't know. But that's what I probably would have done. Okay, so now I'm going to do the edge. You know, make sure it's on the edges. This is pretty much it. Like I said, you might have a better method, better brush. I mean, you don't have to have a 20-year-old brush like I do. You could use a new brush. It probably works a lot better. But I had no idea if the Mod Podge would ruin one of my good brushes, so I didn't use it. You know, something that I would paint with. Okay, so I think it's pretty good for the first layer. It's good. Might not need a second layer. Okay. And just make sure it's nicely saturated and shaped. Pull out a little. You know, some imperfections, you know, with the handmade stuff that we do. There's always an imperfection here or there somewhere. Okay, now I'm going to flip it. You see how it went through? So I know it went through. I'm going to do the second coat on the inside because nobody will ever see it if it should act funny. But then I would have my second coat so both sides will be dry. And that's why I use the plastic bag, because the plastic bag, it doesn't stick to it. You can pick it up. I mean, you don't have to douse this thing in Mod Podge. I'm just making sure it's, make sure that it's got a good coverage. Now this is the second coat, and as you can see, it still has fibers. It still looks like regular yarn. It hasn't discolored, which I was afraid it might do. You know, like have a glazed look or something. It just looks like it's like yarn. So let me wipe off the excess because I'm a cheapo. Don't want to waste. And like I said, you probably have a better way of doing this. I'm going to do the same thing. You make sure it gets a little on the edges. You don't have to be, this is the second coat, so I'm just filling in and giving it a little heavier coat. So probably this will be it. This is just a hat I would wear probably to, like, you know, shopping or going to the post office, that type of thing. It's not a hat I'm going to wear anywhere special. But you're going to be amazed that when it dries, so I'm putting the wet part back on the wet part. And I see it's kind of really heavy here. I don't want it to dry white or funny or, you know, different than the other one. If it's wrong, everything's going to be wrong. It's going to be even. That's actually what I'm shooting for. Okay, that's it. It's not really complicated. It's not difficult, but picture's worth 1,000 words, so it's easier to show you than to tell you. I'm trying to see if I have enough. Oh, I'll put one on, and I'll show you what my hat looks like now. And this is one of the first ones I did. And watch out, folks. I'm going to move the camera, and don't get scared. I don't know how close I am. Might be too close.